Welcome to Paperweights, the podcast where two self-proclaimed gym rats and shooting enthusiasts delve into the world of literature with a sprinkle of humor. Although their biceps could crush a walnut, don't let that intimidate you. They also have a nerdy side. Mike and Brandon have a voracious appetite for reading, particularly in the fantasy genre, and they want to share their passion with you. So grab your protein shake and your favorite novel and join us for a humorous and insightful journey into the world of books with Paperweights.
Welcome back to another episode of the Paperweights. I'm your host, Brandon.
And Justin.
And today we are starting a brand new book, first in a trilogy. Hey, we have the same book.
We did.
The Art of Prophecy by Wesley Chu. We had the honor of meeting this author at CoastCon this year, and his pitch was pretty cool. We decided to buy the first two books, got them signed. So pretty cool stuff. Hey, it says the same message. All right.
Yes.
So yeah, it's basically like Dynasty Japan versus the Mongols with like magic.
Yeah, more China. If you're
China. Yeah, I don't know why I
Yeah.
said Japan. I meant China. Dynasty China versus the Mongols with magic and prophecies, heroes, and all sorts of cool stuff. So we'll get into it. Lots of fun stuff, easy to read. Before we do, we are sponsored by Mudcat Whiskers, so you can go head on over to their website, mudcatwhiskers.com. Use code Paperweights when you check out, and you're going to save yourself some money on some awesome men's beard products. So you can keep those beards non-itchy, shiny, untangled, and just healthy. I personally use the wash, the conditioner, balm, and then in the mornings, I top it off with some fresh beard oil. There's an array of fragrances that you can use, or you can get the one that has no fragrance, which is great for people that have allergies or sensitivities to fragrances and other things, or around people that have that, or hunters. So, and if none of that's for you, you shave your face. He has shaving creams, he has colognes, he has candles. So go on over there and check him out.
Mhm.
All right, Justin, it's been a minute. I went on vacation, so but I remember what happened in the book. I'm actually kind of ready to continue the book, so I'm glad we get to record this conversation so we can continue.
Yeah, same. It was a nice little break. But I finished the reading pretty early, so I was kind of itching to get back into it. So far I'm really enjoying it. It's really fun.
Yeah, I would agree. Really easy. Not a whole lot of characters. Uh, cool, cool things happen in the world. Like, kind of the I forget the country, the uh, where the prophecy, not the prophecy, but where the
Oh,
Sally's from, where it's like it's almost like Howl's Moving Castle or that other movie with the cities that were
Mortal Engines or whatever.
immortal engines or
Yeah,
mortal engines.
yeah.
It actually also reminds me of Sanderson's other book, The Sunlit Man. There's kind of a similar world mechanic there where cities are piecemeal engines that come together and can break apart when necessary. So that was kind of fun.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, the grass city.
yeah, I asked you a question you never answered. Is
Oh.
is the grass sea? It's like really tall grass?
Yeah. So I kind of picture it almost like more green, but kind of like the way the blight was depicted in Wheel of Time TV show, but like
Oh, okay, yeah.
but like foresty type stuff. So it's kind of like it seems like it's alive and like really hard to like burn or chop down and stuff. And the only way you can get through it is with these moving cities and crazy stuff. But
Yeah, all the
yeah,
blades of grass are taller than your humans, right?
yeah, it's like a rainforest type thing. From what I
Cool.
remember, yeah, it's very interesting. It seems like the a lot of the geographical features of this world are kind of like that because we see a little bit of the desert and it like moves and it's all crazy that Tai Chi is gonna go through coming up.
Yeah. All right, let's go through a summary and then talk about some of our favorite things or anything that stood out.
Yeah, yeah. Just first of all, I pronounce things bad too, but I'm not fluent in Chinese, neither is Brandon, so we're probably gonna mispronounce these names. I also feel like Chinese was one of the probably most weird when it's written in English, like the English letters. I feel like Japanese you can actually kind of write it decently, but Chinese can be a little weird. So we're gonna see how it goes. Um,
Weird to English speakers, not that
yes,
it's a weird language, but yeah.
yeah, it's but it's like like was it if everybody that played Dynasty Wars is like cow, but it's like sow or something like that. It's just weird. It's weird to read and kind of translate it in like how you think it would be pronounced. But yeah, I mean we can start. Um, so yeah, basically, start off. We meet one of our main characters, Ling Taishi, who is like this older martial artist master. She can use Jing, which we've kind of found out is kind of like the magic systems, basically like chi. She's like a wind user. She's really cool. But yeah, she's been basically sent to observe the hero of the prophecy, uh, Jian, uh, who is being trained in the palace of the emperor. Basically, the emperor died, and instead of like electing a new emperor, they had these 4 or 5 dukes come together and kind of like hold their little fiefdoms together. So the palace is like deserted, kind of. But there was a prophecy stating that this guy was gonna, somebody was gonna be born, and he was gonna take out the Khan of the Mongols, but they're not actually the Mongols, but they might as well be. So he was found as a child and kind of put here to be trained, and she's observing his training, and she is finding it very lacking. He's very spoiled and pampered, um, very much like taught all the right forms, or at least decent enough, but like nobody's actually pushing him, so he's never getting like attacked. Like there's openings for him to get attacked, but they're not doing it because they don't want to hurt him. So he's very like stunted basically in his kind of combat practice.
He is not fully tested.
Yeah.
Kind
Yeah.
of what it comes to mind. There's a sorry to interrupt
No, you're good.
there's a guy named Derek Moneyberg who there's all this controversy because he was given his black belt in jiu-jitsu by some like well-respected black belts in the community, but he's never like rolled with anybody, and it was in 3.5 years. And so like BJ Penn, which was this amazing like competitor, he got his black belt in like 3.5 years ish. Um, but he earned it through like competing and doing all these amazing things. And so this other guy, they're like, "Oh yeah, I trained in private lessons for 3 hours every day for 3.5 years, and I never missed a day. So yeah, I know what but he's never been like tested, and so like everybody was like, "Hey, why don't you come like compete and then show off if you've got the skill."
Yeah, and like the whole saying is like you never know what it's going to be like until you're punched in the face. So he's never actually been punched in the face before, which in the first chapter, she kind of like directs the people, like, he's doing like a little sparring match, and she directs the people that actually like test him, and he fails. So, so yeah, she's basically like wow, all your masters are terrible. He also has like seven masters or something, so he's always getting conflicting like teachings on what to do. So he has like no style. He's just kind of like always trying to do these different styles. So she basically is like, all right, I'm gonna take over the training, and she kicks everybody out, and then she starts like training him, and there's like a whole bunch of stuff where like he hates her at first, and he like tries to kill her a couple times. He like tries to leave the castle, and she has to save him. Like, very much proving like how much of a badass she is. She's one of the only people that lived fighting the Eternal Khan. She lost an arm, but she's like really cool. And basically, while all that stuff is going on, there's a little interlude where this random soldier he's patrolling the grass sea, and they come across this naked man who's like just piss ass drunk. Just kind of like they stumble upon him, and they realize that he's actually the Khan, and they fight, and he beats up a lot of them, but they end up killing him. And then basically the they start with like K, they're like Katori. Basically the Mongols, they start with a K. They realized the Khan was leaving, so
Is
they
it
like
the Khanate? Khanate?
no, oh yeah,
Or
no,
that's
it's a Katuya.
Katuya, yeah.
Yeah, the Katuya. Yeah, they're basically fantasy Mongols, but I'll just call them Katuya from now on. Um, they realized that the Khan had gone missing and was kind of wandering dangerously close to the Chinese, which are the Zun, Zhun, Zun borders. So they kind of like rallied a bunch of troops to, basically save them. But in that conflict, they got like basically destroyed. They got demolished. So kind of the art of the prophecy, the whole point of this right now is the prophecy was kind of not true, maybe potentially. And the war is over. The Katuya lost, and the Khan is dead. So once that happens, there's also basically there's a Tandai prophecy. That's what the prophecy was called, and it like basically spawned an entire religion. So like you know, the prophecy failed. Like all the religious people are like, what the hell is going on? And so it's big chaos is happening now that Hana's dead, and I'll do this Viper later. She's cool, but basically the Dukes come to the castle and are like, hey, all right, we don't really need the hero of the prophecy anymore because the prophecy is complete. We did it, yay! It was either a lie or we don't need it anymore. So they basically decide because he is a religious figure and a potentially political threat to a lot of them that they're just gonna assassinate him. So they go do that, but Taishi ends up saving him. Um, Partly because he reminds her of her dead son, um, and that like she kind of bonded a little bit with him during the training, and they flee, and there's some adventures going on, but eventually, um, they end up getting to the town of Jaya, um, and she stashes him with um basically she knows a dude that has like a basically a dojo, and she's like, hey, you're gonna go chill with him for a while. I forgot what's going on. So she leaves. Jian is in the dojo, basically training. But he also can't really show his skills. So he's kind of just doing the whole like Prince and the Pauper thing, where he's just kind of like chilling out, trying to hide. Because if people find out that he's the hero of the prophecy, he's gonna get murdered. Um, so that's good. So then she goes to go find stuff, and meanwhile we have the lady
Sally.
Sally or Samandi, who is a voice of the Khan. So basically the immortal Khan can kind of like split his soul into people, like literally actually through magic. Um, and like imbue them with his voice. And then when he dies, they all go back and like basically kill themselves so the Khan can get like his soul can get reconstituted into another person. So it's like so very much reincarnation, and it's actually like real. This is not like just a belief. This is a real thing. Um, so she goes and she learns that like seven of their cities got destroyed during the war or the battle, including her hometown, which sucks for her. She's also a Viper. Um, Viper. She's a Viper. She has this like cool. It reminds me of
Ivy's
Ivy's whip
weapon.
from from
Yeah.
Soul Calibur. Um, so it can kind of like turn into a whip, and she can do cool stuff. Um,
Also, the weapon from Red Rising. Red Rising. Why are
yes,
my R's becoming W's?
I don't know. That was crazy. Yeah, the oh my god. Okay, I'm not gonna remember the name of that weapon, but yes, the razor from Red
Yeah, the
Rising.
razor.
Yeah, there we go. We remember stuff. Um, and basically, she ends up getting back to the capital, and she's fixing to kill herself, but then she kind of like realizes that she did kind of is she like the guy that was the Khan that died. He was like one of her friends growing up, and like he was always weak, and he should have refused the call of the Khan, but he didn't, and it kind of that's the reason why he um was drinking so much and stuff because like it actually like physically changes you, does crazy shit. Um, so he ended up kind of going a little crazy with that, and she's like. She also kind of doesn't want to die, but she's like, I'm gonna go find a new Khan. So she becomes a soul seeker, and
Yeah, she
goes,
declares herself the Soul Seeker.
yeah, yeah.
Everybody's like, "What? You can't do that."
And she's like, I
Like,
just
watch
did
it.
it. I just did. Bye. Um, yeah. So
She's
that's
also yeah,
yep.
part of that to me seemed like she believed her sister was still alive and wanted to find her.
Yeah.
And so that's why she declared herself the Soul Seeker so she could find her sister.
Yeah. She like it's very weird because it's like she wants to do the con stuff and she like but also she's like she was magically drawn back, so maybe she went as she was able to do it because something like maybe she was like, "Oh, this actually could be a good thing because I'm actually able to do it. Like the con spirit is letting me go off." But yeah, her entire clan is either dead or they basically slaves now for the Zuan, uh, because they got captured. But yeah, the war's over. There's peace now. Yeah, there's a lot of indentured servants with the
It's not
captured.
slavery, it's indentured servitude.
Yeah, nice. Basically the same thing.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean they address that
yeah,
in the book. Like, well, what's the difference?
it really was much different. We do get to meet going back to Taishi, her like ex-lover, who we find out is the father of her son. This guy named Mori, who's like a priest, and she basically gets a quest to like go find the original Tandai like
The
temple.
last temple of the Tiandai.
Yeah, the last temple to basically figure out why the prophecy failed. Like, was it intentionally misremembered? Was it, crazy shit going on? Um, we can get into that because, because the Khan gets reincarnated, just because he died once doesn't mean the prophecy isn't over. But yeah, he's cool. Like, there's a lot of really fun stuff with like him like pretending not to want to drink, but then has some drinks and stuff. He's like a poet and stuff. Anyway, she goes off and she gets like crosses that she gets to like this town that's close by this desert, and she's like does a bunch of stuff with trying to find a map, and then she gets attacked by a bunch of assassins. The Shadow kill, who are like they use the shadows and have like blood magic and shit. They're cool, but she like beats them pretty easily because she's like a badass. We also find out some cool shit with her. That like her style like once you become like ready to become the master, you have to kill the previous master to like actually get it. And she killed her father. Um, so it was very interesting. But yeah, she's cool. Which that whole attack with the shadow kills and everything leads us to our, I guess, fourth main character who pops up, Kisame, who is the leader of the Shadow Kills and seems pretty crazy and like chaotic. And she has her own little team, and we get to learn a little bit about the team. And from the fight with Taishi, she seems to be pretty skilled, but not as skilled, obviously, as Taishi. So I'm interested to see what happens with her because she seems pretty insane. And basically, Taichi is gonna like she gets away from the shadow assassins and like kind of flees into the city. Evidently, that's where her story ends. Jian ends with he's basically uh like learning at the school, trying to keep low key. There's like this senior who's like the good, like very much like the good guy in all the animes. He's like the senior that looks after the students. He's like handsome and stuff. His name is Zende. He gets bullied by this guy named Seek. CYYK. I don't know how to spell
Yeah, Seek is
it.
sounds
Seek.
good to me.
Yeah. Uh, they very much set up that like they're probably gonna become best friends. Because like he gets bullied because he's like a poor kid and Zeke is like a rich kid. And then they like, take the punishment together of like kneeling and like squatting in place for like hours and hours. And then like there's like this fight between rival schools, between their school and this other school. And during the fight, Zende beats their head student, and the other guy, the rival student, like pulls out a knife and shanks him very dishonorably, and then they both, Gian and Seek, jump in and like save the senior. So I very much feel like they're setting him up to be like the best friend thing. But yeah, basically that big brawl happens, and they like take him away. Looks like Zende is gonna be uh, fine, but there is a mystery that we have not had yet, which is so they like use like acupuncture healing kind of, and he got healed by this apprentice acupuncturist, but when she went away, she had a puzzled look in her eye, so maybe something happened, like poison or something. We don't know, but that's kind of like the last little thing. So yeah, that's kind of it. Basically, at the end of the halfway point of the book, Gian is kind of chilling in the school yet, but also he's in the same city as Sally, because that's near the border. So Gian is in the city. He's still undercover and stuff. Sally's in the city trying to figure out if there's the Khan's person is in there. Um, we'll see what happens there. And then Taishi and God,
Chisami.
Kami are like kind of like cat and mousing in this other city near the desert.
Is that Sanba?
Somebody, yeah.
Sanba. And then there's something with Valzan too. Or
Maybe
when looking at this map, which is crazy.
the map is cool, but
It's hard to read.
it is hard to read.
But at least we have visited a lot of these places, unlike the map on Licanius.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they,
It's down to South Samba is where they're at.
yeah,
See,
that's
the sand snake is yeah.
yeah, there was something about Valzan. I forgot. I forgot a lot of the details, but like the Celestial Palace, we ended up, and then they
Yeah,
ran off to Danzi and
yeah,
Jai,
yeah.
which either the map, I assume the spelling on the map is incorrect because in the book it's the I and the A are swapped.
Yeah,
in the text of the book, but
yeah. And we do meet some of like the four dukes. They seem cool, but they haven't really done much yet.
is it
Uh,
four or is it? I think it's
it's
five.
4 or 5. Yeah, I
I
think
think
it's
it's
five.
five because it's like the five celestial.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Um,
We do meet them briefly. There's also cool stuff with like his the palace lord guy that like was kind of raised, yeah, and he like ends up like sacrificing himself when they escape and stuff like that. But we can get into that um, if we want more stuff. But yeah, that's the basic stuff. So it's fun so far. I don't really know exactly where it's going, but it's I'm enjoying it a lot.
yeah, so let's start off there. For some reason, I feel like, I mean, obviously our characters going to meet. We're going to get Sally and Jian are going to meet up. Um, I have, I think it's an option that Jian is actually going to be the new Khan,
Yeah,
which would be interesting for the prophecy where that goes. But I mean, that's the question of this book, right? Like, what happens if a prophecy isn't fulfilled and it was wrong, right?
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Because I mean, he is like 15, so he is pretty young.
yeah, he's of the age that they search all the kids or they search for the new Khan, right?
Yeah,
So, yeah, that would be interesting. I think that would be an interesting way to take the story is if he ends up being the Khan and then realizing that um, it could bridge peace between or better peace between the Junan and
Tui,
the
Tuya,
what?
the uh, yeah, Katuya.
Katuya, yeah. Wow. Can't remember the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bridging that between there and realizing like, like the Dukes, like set up the Dukes as the enemies and they are like sure they are there's no emperor and the Dukes are in power, but they're like we love this power, so we need to do everything we can to shut down all this stuff and kind of make people believe that the religion and all these prophecies um, were incorrect and not, don't follow that anymore. Follow us. Like that's blasphemy almost type, you know.
yeah,
Not that the former beliefs were wrong necessarily, but what's going on is blasphemy to what is, it's like oh no, the Khan didn't really die. He didn't die yet. So he hasn't fulfilled that prophecy yet. Like we're still in control.
yeah. And if he became the Khan, because the Khan gets reincarnated and stuff, maybe that's how you like kill the unkillable Khan. You know what I mean? You kind of like not really tame him, but you get him on the side to like bridge both cultures together. That's how you like stop it. I could see
Yeah.
that instead of like thinking that's just like martial stuff, and it because I don't really see what else you would do with Sally's character. Because if she finds a con, like a con in with her people, right? Then it's just like I go back and I train him. I say, all right, that was fun. So I think you're probably right. I think I'm like 60-40 that you're right. Um, just because they're in the same city and she's looking for a person around his age, so it makes sense. Um, and I think yeah, probably Seek will come with them and he'll be like the new one of the best friends or whatever. But yeah, and I'm curious the mystery like in that acupuncturist. like when she's like, oh, something's wrong with him or whatever. He
Well,
gets
that was
like
their master, right? That got
as the
hit with
apprentice.
the
So
the apprentice got hit with the weapon.
no, Zinde, the like basically the senior martial arts guy in this town, they fought a duel and he got stabbed.
Right,
And
right.
yeah. And then the apprentice, like acupuncturist, like saved his life. But she was like, hey, he's gonna be fine, but he saw in her eyes that like something was a little weird. So I don't know if it's like maybe it is Jian's like Jing power that like activated and did something weird with them, or something else. I don't know.
Do you remember what chapter that was?
Yeah.
Well,
I
I want to
think
go back and reread that portion a little bit later.
chapter 19.
Chapter 19. Okay.
It's like the very end of his last. Okay.
Yeah, I'll reread it before I continue
Yeah.
reading the next section. You have anything more on that? I have something else I wanted to talk about. I have a
No,
few things actually.
I can do. Yeah. So he's just like, her words did not match the look on her face. She looked puzzled, distracted. He nodded, his eyes still trailing after Nihei. What was wrong with Zinde? So there's something weird going on there. But then that was his last chapter, so we don't know.
Yeah, I assumed it was poison. Sure, they healed his cut, but there's something else that is beyond acupuncturist's ability to heal. So, it might end up being um Jian using his Jing that he wasn't aware of. Um, but the other thing I thought was another part of the book that stood out to me was whenever they were fighting. So whenever Tai Chi was fighting his masters and he popped out and the master that had the death punch like actually punched him with the death punch, he was like, oh, that's real. Like it was like so many people had said they had a death punch, but nobody ever saw it like work or do anything. And
Yeah,
so then for it to happen with him, he was like, oh God, okay, that was actually real. So like, did he learn that death punch too? Uh, and I
that'd be
think Tai
cool.
Chi was also surprised by that as well.
Yes, because she had a very low opinion on most of the masters, but it turned out he was at least decent enough. Um, but yeah, I can see that. That'd be interesting. What he's gonna learn. Maybe he's gonna learn a cool ivy sword and become a viper snake like Sally.
Yeah, could be.
He could be.
He could just be everything.
He could be everything. He could be the Avatar.
He could. Uh, and related to in the same area of the book of the story, the guard that was with him, the one that hesitated, right? So he had one that been with him forever, and then the new guy that replaced somebody that just died. Uh, the one that been with him forever hesitated in like killing, and he convinced Tai Chi to, not kill them, um, and just to knock them out. Do you think he comes back? And does
Probably.
and is he going to continue his role as like kind of a protector, or is he going to kind of work with the Dukes and help hunt him down?
I think it's probably gonna be. I mean, the more like I guess cliche or just how it normally goes is like he'll show up, like he'll get like captured by guards, and then one of the guards will be him, and then he'll help him escape and get like killed and while doing that or something like that. I can see that happening.
Okay,
Hmm.
we'll see if that comes true.
Yeah. Um, I'm really interested in Kisame, who we had a very brief picture, like little POV with her. She seems pretty crazy, and she's got like a full team, and she uses like the shadows and blood magic and stuff, which is really cool. And because I was reading the back of the book, and it had like it mentioned her as like one of the four like main characters basically, and I was like, that person has not showed up yet. So it's gonna be interesting to see how she like fits this entire narrative.
I loved how he introduced her though. Um, like the fight with her and Taishi was really good. I love that. And then for the next chapter to be like, all right, Taishi defeats her, she runs off. And then the next chapter, which happens to be the last chapter of this section, which worked out great, was her POV and like, oh hey, all right, here's this other character. Now
Yeah,
let's get to see how they fit into the story. So I'm
yeah,
interested in her as well.
yeah. I also found that section really funny when you're like Taishi cuts in line and like it offends everybody in the trading post, and they basically just are like, "We're not gonna take you across the desert." And even the dude that turned out to be kind of like a cover because he was like, "Oh, I'll take you," and he just got bullied into not being able to take her across the desert. So it's like, "Shit, all right, I guess we just have to jump her here." Which was funny. I really enjoyed that. It was really funny.
Yeah, I liked that. I also liked the scene with the map maker
Mm.
where who was it that visit it was Kasami, right?
Yeah,
That went and visited the map maker and then like at and he was like, I'm gonna kill you, and then whoever the Lord of the city came is like no, or maybe not the Lord of the city, was it?
he was like under the underground. It's like he was
Oh
like a
yeah, the Lord
mob.
of the Underground people, and he's like, hey, you can't touch this person, and then like he said all sorts of shit, and the guy's like, you shouldn't have said anything, dude.
Now we have to kill you. All right.
Now he had to kill you, now, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can have the pleasure of killing this map maker.
She's like hell yeah, because she seems to really like to kill people.
I mean, you're an assassin. You gotta love killing people,
Yeah, true.
unless you're
Uh,
Seth.
yes,
Then it just makes you sad.
yeah. She seems to be the opposite of stuff.
Yes. She does. I mean, maybe she needs therapy, but she doesn't like it's not because she's depressed. It's just because she's mentally crazy.
It's because she's too happy. She needs to be she needs to be a little bit more depressed. Um, but yeah, like it for her to be part of the four things, it seems like maybe Taichi's gonna like recruit her to the calls or something. I don't know. Some way she's gonna like join the team. Yeah. Or it'd be kind of crazy if she just is trying to kill Taichi for like the rest of this book. Um,
Yeah, I don't see that happening. Like it seemed like that POV, she was like, "Who the hell is that woman?"
yeah, she's very impressed. But also she knows because Taichi is like the number one wanted criminal, and she's like, ew, if we kill her, we're gonna like gain all this prestige. I enjoyed all of her like junior assassins. They were all fun. So it was cool having a little team with her as well. And they all use like
I don't
blood
remember all of
magic.
them as much because like
We
I
don't get
read.
much. We get there's like a husband and wife, and there's like the handsome dude that pretended to be the caravan, and then there's like this other dude that was he was the one that was watching the map store, and he doesn't seem to be like the assassin. He seems to be kind of like doing all the logistics and like kind of like a gopher, but maybe a little bit more important. Um, so we'll probably get way more of them in the coming chapters, or they'll all die, and it'll just be her.
They could all die and just be her. Um, yeah, That was the I read that chapter. I was just trying to get through that chapter before I got on the cruise ship. So I didn't have to bring this book on the cruise. I could leave it in the car, um, take up less space in our bags and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I knew I wasn't really gonna like. I had a book to read. I got through a quarter of it leisurely, but overall, I didn't end up reading much while I was on the cruise.
I wouldn't expect you to for having a vacation. I mean, I guess you could lay out on the deck and read, but there's probably
Yeah, a lot
better
of people
stuff to
do.
do.
And in the future I might. But there's so much, sorry, we're getting off the tangent. There's so much to do on those cruises that I'm like, okay, well I paid for it and all these things are free, part of it. Let's it's like at this point, am I gonna be back on this ship? Am I gonna do have an opportunity to do any of these things? And if I don't have an opportunity and I remember that I didn't do them, am I going to regret it? So let me make sure I do the things that I want to do while I have the opportunity, plus the cost that it is there. So
Yeah, I mean, you can read at any time, so
yeah,
might as well enjoy yourself. But I also didn't really describe the combat. The combat's really well written. It's very much like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or any sort of like fantasy, it's like wushu type Chinese movies or anything like that. So very like,
hero,
yeah,
yeah,
hero, very floaty, kind of like, step on a sword type thing, like in Kill Bill, Volume 2. And it's very well done. It's really cool. We haven't really gotten to the magic system yet, or key system yet, because he has not unlock the ability to use it, as far as we know. So that might come up, like how it's actually used. But we've seen wind power. Taichi has really cool wind stuff. You can like do like messages on the wind and uh, manipulation. And we've seen kind of like shadow and blood magic with uh, Kisha,
Kisame.
Kisame. I'm not gonna remember yet. Yeah. Kisame, which is cool. We saw the death punch, like poisoning his blood. Uh, we didn't really see what they could do, but we heard and saw the mute men, which are like the government, basically secret police, that were after them for a bit. Um,
People seem to be very afraid of them.
yeah, in my mind they look like the immortals from 300.
Okay.
Remember what they look like? Yeah. They probably don't look like that, but that's in my mind. They do. Yeah, and then we got some magic with the reincarnation and things like that. So we're getting a lot more magic. Uh, I'm very interested to see what more kind of uh comes of that.
Yeah, so the name of the weapon in this book is the tongue.
Yes.
It's called a tongue, and it can kind of go from like being a whip-like thing to like a spear almost instantly,
Yeah.
which is
It's really
fun. Oh, there was a mention of the a mention of a lot of weapons in here, and it was funny to talk when they were talking about the one that was three sticks, um, and they're all connected by a chain, so it's like a stick, chain, stick.
Mhm.
And he was like, "Yeah, this is either Tai Chi or Jian, one of the two." Was like, "This is mo one of the worst weapons in history."
Yeah.
Usually, people end up hitting themselves in the head or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, that
Uh,
was fun. I think
yeah.
that's when she was fighting the masters.
I can see that. Yeah. I think
I
so.
could be wrong, but I think that's where that was from. Another thing that's on my mind right now is the fight between Zendaya and the rival school or whatever. It really reminds me of a lot of old Bruce Lee movies,
Hmm.
um, where they're just like walking down the street and it's like Aha, there's another martial artist school. They're in the city. They're in our street. Let's fight.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's like, why are y'all fighting? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you have a different master.
What I did like is that there was a reason they were fighting, was because since the war is over, there was such a production of military might that with the suddenly the war being over, like everybody's out of a job. So they're like having to constantly prove that like they're the best so they can get like high positions of power and rank and stuff and getting paid, which was really fascinating to think of like how you just build up the power and the might for the hero of the prophecy to come like smash down the Mongols, and then that just ends, and there's like, oh shit, well we don't have to spend all this money anymore. And everybody else is like, but I've been training for years. What am I gonna do now? So yeah, it was interesting. But yeah, definitely watching that thing. I was like, okay, yeah, they're gonna go. Something bad's gonna happen. He's gonna get involved in the fight. You could you could see the machinations before it happened, and that's always fun too. You're like, okay, how's this gonna happen?
And he got shut down before he had to go. Like they're all, he's like, "Fuck, I gotta go do this." All
Yeah,
right, we're all ready, and it's like they got talked down, and it's like, "All right, yeah, y'all go." And he was about to go out and like be buddy buddy with Seek or Zeke or whatever. Like they
yeah.
were about to go out and defend their master's honor.
I did think when he left with the like originally with the students and everything, and they're gonna like brawl at like the shop. I thought he was gonna end up revealing his skills, and then people would be like, "Oh shit, he's the hero of the prophecy," but that didn't happen. So that was kind of interesting. I was like, I wonder if that's gonna happen. But it didn't.
I think Zeke is gonna find out
Yeah,
if he hadn't already figured it out. Um,
yeah,
and then that'll be like a I don't think it's gonna give him blackmail, but I think it's gonna be like impress him, and that's gonna build their friendship.
yeah. Maybe he's like a believer or was a believer or something. We'll see. It's gonna be interesting.
And there's two more books after this, so you
I know.
know.
I'm actually excited. I'm really enjoying this. Uh, I think after Lycanius, just how convoluted that story was, getting a more like streamlined and straightforward story has been a really fun break. Yeah,
Yes.
so I'm really enjoying it. It's really fun. Like it reminds me of a Sanderson or something where it's just really easy read, and you're just like seeing cool shit happen, and yeah,
Sanderson without the Cosmere connections.
yeah,
So once you start thinking and trying to figure out all the Cosmere connections, then it's not as simple. The writing is simple, and what's
yeah,
presented to you is very simple. But if you want to go down the rabbit hole of things, then you're gonna have a lot more
yeah.
stuff to pay attention to.
Agreed, agreed. Um, but yeah, that's kind of all I got.
What was your? I'm trying to think of a least favorite part. Um, and I can't necessarily think of any. What did you have a least favorite part?
I don't think so, really, that much. Like, I kind of was just curious what was gonna happen next. Um, yeah, nothing really is coming to mind. Um, that's like a really just like you know stand out. Like, ugh, I don't like that. Um, yeah, I think
What about favorite?
favorite. Uh. It's a lot of good stuff. I think the I really like the interlude with Maury and her ex-lover, and their meeting was really fun. And her revealing at the end that like she was the one that like sent the booze to the monks or whatever. That was really cool, and I really enjoyed the last fight between her and the Shadow Kills. Um, so yeah, that was two of my favorite parts. How
Yeah, I
about
think
you?
that fight between the Shadow Kills and the fight with her and the Masters
Mm.
were uh my favorites. There was, man, I can't remember it. I was there was a part where I was like, that was the funniest. That was one of the funniest things I had read, but I don't remember. So there is a really funny part in this book, and I can't remember it. So there you go, people.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it does have good, good humor, good characters. So far the plot is interesting. We'll see where it goes, but um, yeah, I like Taishi a lot. She's really cool. I think Gian is like purposely like shitty so he can like grow. Kind of reminds me of like Luke Skywalker. How petulant he was at the beginning. Want to go to the Tashi station and pick some power converters. Um,
Ooh.
and Sally is like mysterious enough to like you want to read her, and this new chick just seems crazy. So we'll see. We'll see where she goes. Um, but yeah,
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 that's it.
yeah. I will say one of the things that this book needed to do well that it does was the combat. Because you want the martial arts, Chinese Crouching Tiger book to have good combat, and so far it really does. Um, yeah,
Yeah, it's fun. Like just those that description of like floating and landing on things here and there, and just you know
yeah,
all that stuff's fun.
yeah,
It's been a while since I've watched any of those Wuzhu movies, but I remember watching a lot of them like in high school,
yeah,
and they're really fun. I should go watch one again.
yeah. It'd be fun. Um, yeah, I guess one of the higher compliments I can give is like when I got to the end of the reading, I was like, shit, I actually kind of want to continue. And then, it's been like a week or two since I've been able to read. I've been kind of like, oh, I want to get back to it. So it's a good sign.
Yeah, I'm ready to get back to it too. Also have to prep for this week's game, so
Yes.
it's fun running the games.
Yes.
The prep is the most annoying part of it, but I'll get used to it as we go. So
Yeah, it takes shorter and shorter the amount the more you get used to it.
yeah, I mean, good thing about running a pre-made campaign is that there's less. You just have to read and then kind of remember it while you're going through.
Mhm.
So it should be fun. I'm excited to get through in there, and then in a month or two, I'll have the Mistborn rule books. So
Nice. That'll be
at,
fun.
at some point in the future, that'll be something we can play or run.
Yeah,
So,
that'd be cool.
all right. Well, I I should mention this at the beginning, but I always mention it at the end. If you made it this far, thank you. There's like, follow, subscribe buttons. You can share it with your friends, your family, your enemies, anybody you want, anywhere. You could feed it into bots and have the bots share it for you. I don't care. Um, all those things help with our visibility. I think we're almost at 50 subscribers on the YouTube channel now, which I haven't really been watching. I just looked at it today. I was like, oh, that's cool. So thanks to those
Yeah.
50
Thank you.
people. Um, I just shared the last episode on the Gentleman Bastards subreddit. Uh, Scott Lynch responded on there. Uh, he doesn't listen to people talk about his books, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially if people if for whatever reason people like to bash you for whatever reason there is, and you don't want your mental health to suffer from hearing negative things all the time about your work and your life. That's a good barrier to have. So good on that. He did leading into our sponsor, he did mention that he loves the Mudcat Whiskers beard oil that we sent him. So if you haven't yet and you're a listener, go check out mudcatwhiskers.com. You should find some good products there. I really like the Boudreaux. I think uses the Jean-Luc, which is like an
Yes.
Earl Grey. I
I'll have
don't
to try the
remember.
Boudreaux.
Let me look it up. Let me look up what the profile scent is on that. Give me one second, because I really like that one. And I used it last summer on our father-daughter trip in Disney. So now every time I use it, I think about the Disney World resort I was in. Oh, he just redid his website. So hey, if you've been to his website and you haven't been lately, he redid it. So um, go check that out. Medcatwhiskers.com. Make sure you use code paperweights at checkout. It'll save you 15%. And I'm still trying to find this Boudreaux scent. Where is it? Oh, fragrance article. Is it anywhere? Having trouble finding it. Here we go. Boudreaux, mineral-rich black salt and Louisiana cypress create a crisp, grounding foundation brightened by green bamboo and softened by the clean impression of summer rain. Fresh, airy, and quietly rugged. So, I
Sounds
love
good.
that one.
Yeah.
And then you like the
Yeah,
Jean-Luc,
that in like the 1820 or something.
the
That one's good
1812.
too. Yeah, that one's good.
I think that's the year that the Louisiana Purchase was signed.
That makes sense.
A rich and indulgent composition of polished mahogany, golden caramel, and warm vanilla unfolds into exotic saffron, clove, and roasted tonka bean. Soft almond lingers beneath the surface, creating a fragrance that feels smooth, refined, and quietly commanding. Hey, this sounds great. He doesn't have the Jean-Luc up here. That's funny. There's a picture of the Jean-Luc, um, but he doesn't have the fragrance. Oh, wait. Oh, there it is. Black tea, bergamot, and verbena create a crisp, refined scent with quiet depth. Mood, a French Quarter study, Earl Grey at dusk.
Okay, it's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I would say the February seasonal release was King Cake, and it was a lot of cinnamon, and it kind of smelled like big red gum.
Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, lots of good stuff. I used Papa's pipe for Pirate Night on the cruise. That was the deep pipe tobacco and dark cherry unfold into a warm, nostalgic finish of black Cavendish. Rich, familiar, and deeply comforting, Papa's pipe evokes old stories, leather chairs, and simpler times.
Thanks.
So kind of reminds you of an old like parlor study, um, hanging out with the boys, smoking pipes and cigars type thing.
Hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, um, there's some scent profiles. I like the new website. Kudos uh, to Nick. And yeah, go ahead and check them out. Code Paperweights, check out, you'll save yourself 15%. And then our next episode, we will be finished with book one of The Art of Prophecy, and look forward to discussing that and probably moving on to the second book, I think is Art of Destiny.
I think so. It's blue. I remember that.
Yeah, it is blue. The War Arts Saga. Yeah, The Art of Destiny is the second one, and then the third one is The Art of Legend.
Nice.
So, yeah, we'll have to buy the third one.
Yes. When we get to it.
Yeah. So, we will catch y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.